Hi, Cancer. Happy birthday. How are you? I hope you're doing fantastic. I've got a little bit of a makeshift situation going on here with the space today, but I'm sure you won't mind. I wanted to do your birthday reading. I have already pre-shuffled the cards and all that good stuff, and I'm going to do a little bit of a combination astrology and tarot. So I'll be using the first, the fourth, the seventh, and the 10th house of astrology to guide us to narrow the themes. I'll explain as I go along. I hope that you're all enjoying your birthday celebrations. Depending on where you are in the world, a lot of things have opened up. So I hope that you are making up for last year and the celebrations you couldn't have. I hope you're happy. I hope you're enjoying your life and your home as you like to do, dear Cancer. And yeah, let's get started. So we'll start with the first house. Now, before I go any further, just a reminder that this birthday reading that I do once a month for the signs is really a solar return reading. Now, obviously, it's not your solar return because we're not reading your natal chart. It's a collective general solar return for the sign of Cancer, but it's for the entire birthday year. So if your birthday is, July, then this reading will be good through this July, through next July. Gosh, did I just go totally redundant there? Anyway, you get my drift. Happy birthday. Enjoy. Keep coming back to this. All right. So right out of the gate for the first house, dear Cancer, we have the King of Swords and the Page of Cups. This is for the first house. Now, the first house is about our physicality. It's what we do with our bodies, like literally how we move them forward in the world, the way we defend ourselves. And it's also the way we like our outlook in life, like how we take things on, right? Especially when things get tough. Now, what these two cards are telling me right out of the gate is that for this upcoming solar return year, dear Cancer, there's an emphasis here of really it's twofold here. The King of Swords is really about owning your truth, communicating well, communicating directly, honestly, with no frills, not taking any BS, knowing how to detect a BS, but really it's about meaning what you say, saying what you mean. So something previously here has potentially taught you that there is a need for you to take care of yourself a little bit better in regards to how you communicate about yourself, how you ask for the things that you need, and also, telling people to go F themselves when it's necessary. Maybe not so harshly, but you know what I mean. But this is really about standing firmly in your throne, right? This is really about owning your power here. It's also about teaching something in terms of how you're communicating. This could be about writing, because Swords is very cerebral, intellectual, but it's also the writer's element, right? So this could be how you present your work, whether it's through journals, through emails, maybe you're an author, maybe you are teaching a course, anything to do with writing and communication. There is a sense of authority in that for you here. And it's the first house. And the first house is one of the angular houses in astrology, right? Because that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the 4 angular houses. The first house, which is about the self, the physicality. The 4th house, which is about our home, our parents. The 7th house, which is all about relationships. And the 10th house, which is all about career and social standing. This fell in your first house, which sets the tone for everything else throughout the year. Because remember, we're doing a solar return reading. So even if you're not in this energy quite yet, although I really sense strongly that you are already coming into that, But even if you're not there yet, you have the rest of the year to come into this. Another thing about this right out of the gate, because remember, this is the house of how we defend ourselves, right? This could be, instead of, the first house, it's originally ruled by Aries. So it's a very action oriented. It's very physical. It's very like, well, I'm going to defend myself in a Martian kind of way, right? Which can sometimes be a tad bit aggressive depending on what side of the coin you're on. But here, when you have the King of Swords fall in the first house along with the Page of Cups, there is a sense that your approach and how you choose to defend yourself this year is going to be through words, through the written word, through the spoken word, through communication. You could also have some governance here over social media, like this, what we're doing here now, or even some kind of networks online. This is going to be a great time for you to join networks online, whether it be for your business. I'm feeling an emphasis here on starting over, particularly in terms of emotion, because you have the Page of Cups. So there's a feeling that while you're defending yourself, like something put you in this place of, that's it, no more effing around. I'm going to take the stance of the King of Swords. I'm going to stand my ground firmly. While that's happening, though, there's also like, it's like you have a stance of, I'm going to defend and protect myself at all costs through the written word, through spoken word. I will defend myself. I will educate myself through contracts. I will contractually take care of myself. This is also energy of something may have occurred recently, or can or may potentially occur, that makes you want to, for a lack of a better term, lawyer up, meaning learning how to recreate, protect your image through contracts, right? Whether that be an NDA or whatever it is, it's going to play out. This is a general reading, right? It's collective for Cancers, but it's collective. So whatever it is for you, you'll know automatically what it is as I'm saying this. But there is an emphasis here of protecting, because something may have come up that put you in an awkward position, or maybe in a not so desirable place, right? Great. Now, at the same time though, my dear Cancerian, while this is happening, you also have the Page of Cups. So while you're feeling the need to defend yourself through the written word, or through your intellect and your knowledge, because this is also about your knowledge and your education, there's another part of you that's also kind of like opening your heart again. Like you're starting to feel like something may have closed you up for a bit. And now you're like, okay, I'm ready to open my heart to someone, to something, to a project, to a person. But also because it fell in your first house, this is about really understanding that you yourself also need some TLC here. So you may be finding new modes of taking care of yourself here, Cancer. So while your heart wants to open up and bring in a new energy from an exterior, this is also confirmation that your most satisfaction here this year is going to be about bringing in new elements that fulfill your soul. So what is that for you, Cancer? What are the things that maybe you wish another did for you, and you're waiting for someone else to do for you, whether it's an employer, a lover, a neighbor, a friend? Well, in what ways can you give yourself the emotional, and these might be things that you're not even good at all, you never have been, and that's why you think someone else can fulfill this potentially, right? But what this is saying is that you're open. You're open to learning new ways of taking care of yourself. This is beautiful. I love this for you, Cancer. Because here's the thing, my dear Cancerians, you are great nurturers, right? You are. And I think sometimes in that nurturing others, you forget to nurture yourself. So don't forget to do that. All right, let's move on now to your fourth house. And the fourth house is about the home you actually live in. It's about your ancestry. It's about like what helps you feel safe, secure, and loved and protected in your home and your space environment. And also speaks about your parents. Usually it's the maternal, it's the mother. However, not always. It can also speak about your father, or some of you have two mothers, two fathers, grandparents that raised you, what have you. It's going to be different for everyone. So let's see what you have to look forward to here the next coming year. For the fourth house, your spirit. One more card, please, for the fourth house. Okay, beautiful. So there's an energy here. We've got the Six of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups. And remember, this is in your fourth house. Okay, so this is the home life. This is potentially where you live. Also, this can have something to do with past karma related to your ancestry, your family lineage, or whatnot. The Six of Pentacles often speaks about it can be twofold. It can either speak about the need for reciprocity or not receiving reciprocity, or things, something being a little off kilter, right? The balance, because we have here's the imagery. It's a rich man giving money here to the beggars, right? So even though this rich man is balancing by giving, there's still disparity there, right? There's still a little hierarchy going on there. And then you have the Eight of Cups, which is walking away from something. So what this tells me, dear Cancerian, something has been going on in your household where things feel unequal. Like the give and take hasn't been, it either has been a little too tit for tat, where it's becoming suffocating and you need to walk away from that. You know how sometimes in some relationships, we're so concerned about, and I'm speaking, I think we've all been through that. I've been guilty of this too, where we're concerned about getting hurt, getting burned. And so we end up creating these rules, if you will. Well, if you do this, I'll do that. Tit for tat, right? Now, balancing things is very important, but not if it's going to be measured to the point where it really doesn't flow naturally. And it's really, sometimes I'm 80%, 20%, other times 5%, depending on what's going on in the world, right? And in our lives. But there's a feeling here that either one of two things can be going on, dear Cancers. There's a group of you here that are experiencing too much effort and tit for tat, too much trying to measure things to perfection, to be equal give and take, and is making you it's exhausting and you want to walk away from it. It's not peaceful. Others of you are just walking away from situations. And again, we're talking about the home, right? So it can be someone who you live with. It can be your own energy if you live alone. But others of you are walking away from that disparity. Like in some of your situations, you are experiencing you're doing all the work, or potentially your partner or the other person is doing all the work, and they're feeling it, or you're feeling it. Another thing that can be happening here, because I think of this, and this is coming in terms of as a download. Some of you are moving away from your home, your current home, like literally moving away to something better. And the reason it may be better is that the home or the environment or the people you currently live with have run its course. Meaning, whatever that home, that edifice, or that neighborhood had to offer you, whatever it was, it's given its full term. The balance has been balanced and it can no longer be fruitful, right? Like sometimes it's necessary for us to live in certain neighborhoods because there's something we're learning and growing from that neighborhood. Others of you are moving away from your family life here, because this is also a card of hierarchy. So sometimes it can indicate stages or generations in our family. So this can also reference or symbolize like you living near your mother, father, grandparents, nieces, nephew. Think of hierarchy, think of age and generation. And so there could be a situation here where you finally realized it's time to move away from that, right? Because for whatever reason, that maybe at one point there was balance, and now that balance has turned toxic. Because again, sometimes balance can go more towards the tit for tat instead of equal give and take. So some of you are moving away. This could just be as simple as you've outgrown your neighborhood, you've outgrown your house. Maybe you're having children, you're moving into more bedrooms. But there's definitely an emphasis here of moving away from someone or something related to your home. Even your parents. Remember, this is the fourth house can represent your parents. So your parents could be moving away. Again, remember, think of hierarchy and generations, right? So very interesting, Cancer, because let's keep opening up your reading. I hope that you can all see and it's okay. And I hope you don't mind that. I don't even know where to look anymore because this whole setup is a mess right now, but I hope you forgive me. I know you will, Cancer. You'll forgive the mess. Okay, so now we're moving into our 7th house, and oh my goodness, this is a great stuff to get here. You got the 2 of Cups, which is all about relationship and union, and then you have the Moon, right, which is all about the emotion. It's also it's about revealing emotions. So the 7th house can refer to romantic relationships. It can also refer to our business relationships. It can also refer to marriage, divorce, contracts, legalities. All of that stuff lives in the 7th house. The crux of the 7th house is contracts, verbal contracts, written contracts with another, which is why it's the house of relationships. Now, for the most part, people look to the 7th house for romantic love, and sometimes for business relationships again. So here with the cups, the 2 of Cups, this tells me that you're coming into union with another. You're creating a partnership with someone else. This can be romantic, and this can also, or this can be business, or it can be both, okay? But whatever this is, we have the Moon here. And the Moon, in this context, it can be twofold. Sometimes it's about things being hidden, kept secret, and not secret doesn't have to be secret like in a bad way, like you're keeping a secret, but maybe keeping something private for a time being. So you might be in a situation where you're entering a new partnership with someone that for whatever reason you feel that needs to be kept behind closed doors. Some of you may be having more of a clandestine type of situation happening where no one really knows it's happening other than the 2 of you. Another thing I want to say here, though, that sometimes the Moon does come up, sometimes, not always, it comes up as a little warning or a heads up, I should say, to make sure you are aware of all the going ons and that you are on the same page with another person. Now, again, this can be business or this can be romantic. So whichever it is, just make sure that everything's on the up and up and that things are revealed and not hidden unnecessarily. Now, if you are secretly keeping this relationship behind, closed doors, beautiful. If you feel you need to do that, obviously, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. That's not my job. But this is still good energy because it's about coming together in agreement and on the same page with someone. This is beautiful. And we'll open it up a little bit more. I'll get one card from another deck for each house just to clarify a couple of things. Okay, so let's move on to the 10th house, which is all about, it's about career, your social standing in life, the things that you advocate for, the things that you put yourself out in public, the politics you hold, that kind of thing. But it's mostly career, your business, that kind of thing. All right, Spirit, what do we need to know? Okay, this is not... One card, please. Make it clear, dear Spirit. Make it clear for us and our dear Can... Oh, there it is. That's clear. Okay. So you got the 3 of Cups in reverse and the Judgment card. Okay. Couple of things here, dear Cancer. So the Three of Cups in reverse is about a celebration potentially coming to halt. This can come up when, for example, you had a specific plan. Maybe you had a specific job you were about to get or a position that you were aiming for. And unfortunately, it didn't make it far enough to get to the celebration point. It can also be, though, that you come into some opportunity that comes in so fast that you do not even have time to celebrate it because it comes in that quickly. Some of you are actually experiencing that. But I'm picking up some mixed messages here, and I feel like you have some confusion. I feel that heavily that there's some confusion here with career because something involving other people, either someone or something didn't come through, or potentially you started with one idea of how something was going to go regarding your career and it didn't, so the celebration was brought to halt. I'm also picking up because the 10th house of social standing can also be, because the 10th house, even though it's predominantly used to look at career, it can also symbolize changes that happen in our marital status. So for example, when you get divorced, that could potentially change your social standing in life, right? When you get married, that can change your social standing. You might come into new relationships with new people. You may move to a new neighborhood because of your marriage. In other words, the change of that marital status, whether it's a divorce or a marriage, changes how others see you in the world, right? So for some of you, very, very small handful of you, there's a shift in that. Or potentially, I'm going to use an example. This doesn't have to be it, but let's say some of you had an engagement that was going to shift your social standing, and that has the date has either changed or it has been canceled permanently. So it has shifted the celebration, brought the celebration to a halt. It's going to play out. This is very specific, so it's going to play out differently for everyone. So please take it as it resonates. I know all of us tarot card readers on YouTube, we sound like broken records when we say that, but yes, please take it as it resonates. Now, another thing to keep in mind, you also got Judgment in there. So there's almost this feeling of, and Judgment came after this card, okay? And that's important because what that tells me is that something could have come to a halt, but there's going to be an opportunity for it to come up again for review. That's significant. If Judgment would have come first, then this, it would have been a little bit different. But because whatever this is, this coming to a halt, for some of you, it's new clients, right? Like you may have thought that you were going to get a specific client or a specific contract that came for a halt. The celebration came to a halt. But something here indicates it coming back for review and potentially giving you an opportunity to get back into it so that you can then flip this upright and celebrate whatever that is, the contract, the communication, the deal, the marriage, the new job, the position, whatever it is for you. But when Judgment comes up, there's a reminder to, when something comes up for review, to really do your due diligence, do your research, do your homework, make sure that this is something you want back in your life, whatever it may be, because whatever decision you make, whether you take the client, whether you take the job, it usually has a sense of finality to it. Or if you reject it too, right? If you reject a client or you reject a situation, then it could permanently be in reversal. Okay? All right. Now let's get one more card for each position. So from a different deck. So let's clarify for the first house, dear Spirit. First house. Yeah, this is a very good read for you, though, overall, I think. Okay, Six of Wands. So for the first house, you got the Six of Wands. I'll come back to it. for the fourth house. Oh, nice. You got the 9 of coins. Beautiful. I just heard that for some of you who are thinking about selling your home or property, you're going to get a really good return on your property, because this is for the fourth house, but we're going to come back to it. I'll do a little overview. And then for this, get a card for the 7th house, dear Spirit. Make it clear, please. Ace of coins. Yeah, there's definitely a new beginning. You remember you have that 2 of cups in there too. Okay, and now the 10th house. I'm very curious what you're going to get for the 10th house, actually. Maybe there's some confirmation on what's to be reviewed, what comes to a halt. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. Please make it clear, Spirit. Let's clarify, confirm the 10th house for our Cancer birthday reading. Ah. Okay, Son of Wands. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Son of Wands. Okay, so these are your cards. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, beautiful. So, yes, beautiful. So the stance that we were talking about earlier, you feeling the need. Hang on, I got these out of order now. So this need of having to protect yourself. Remember, we were talking about the first house where you feel like you need to protect yourself, guard yourself in a way with your words, with your intellect, with your knowledge. That is going to be very powerful for you. That is something that you are actually going to sit into that energy so nicely. You're going to own it so well that it will bring you success. It'll bring you acknowledgement. Also, I'm getting a huge emphasis on it's going to bring you self-esteem and self-worth, self-value in a way that you probably haven't felt in a very, very long time. Because remember, you got this other energy. Like when we get to the King of Swords energy, it's not just that we have mastered something and we're ready to take it on and own it. Many times it's because we were pushed so hard. Something happened that knocked our socks out or knocked us out of the water that taught us a big lesson. Because he's firm, right? You have to get through the Queen of Swords to get to him. And if you make it through the Queen of Swords to him, it means that you're really serious about something. But usually that takes place because something knocked you out of the water. Something knocked you out of your groundedness. And so now you're like, I'm not doing this whole mushy, whooshy, woo-woo stuff. That didn't make any sense, but just go with me. And it's something that is going to provide you with much needed. You need right now, Cancer, you need to feel validated. You need to feel there's something that knocked you out in the past, and this is about revitalizing your own self-worth, your own self-value. You're going to start seeing it because you're going to utilize your knowledge, your intellect, your word, your verbal way of communicating, and you're going to be clear about the things you need, and you're only going to allow people into your space who are clear about what they need, what they mean to you, you know, where they stand with you, and vice versa. So this is going to be what brings you success, is being in this energy. All right. And then for those of you who are moving away, because there's a disparity here in reciprocity, whether it be financial or emotional or with time or learning experiences, like wherever it is that you're no longer being reciprocated in the area of your home, whatever it is that you're moving away from, okay, whether it's a parent, a family situation, a house, a partner that you live with, or a way of being, it's going to bring you back again. It's another energy of self-worth and self-sufficiency and self-caring and success too, along with this other Six of Wands that we just saw earlier. So this is going to, and also for those of you selling property that you're moving away from, this is indicating it's going to pay dividends. Like you are going to make a good chunk of change there. So yeah, whatever that is. Also, for some of you are moving away, there's a shift that you're making in your home, like maybe some kind of remodeling that's going to create balance. So maybe you have a home, and this is so specific, so this is only going to apply to one or two of you, but maybe there are some of you here who have a home that you're sharing with like family. Maybe you need to build a wall, or build, not like a wall like we know of a wall, but you know what I mean, like build a wall or a room or a door or something to create separation so that there's some balance that's created and giving you the self-sufficiency. Hope that makes sense. Okay. And then we have for this relationship sector here, which is looking very promising, an Ace of Coins. Oh my gosh, Cancer, this is beautiful. So whatever new union you're starting out here has the potential for roots. Now the Ace of Coins, obviously it's not guaranteed, but what it tells us is that whatever is coming in the area of relationship, whether it's business or romantic, has the potential for lasting roots, because the Ace of Coins is about planting a seed that later gives root, that later gives fruit, right? And so this is very, very beautiful because it's promising. So those of you who are maybe unsure, maybe there's, because this can sometimes come up when there's a little bit of dark night of the soul, like those of you who are unsure of yourselves and whether or not you're able to come through with this union, just trust the Ace of Coins energy, which is it's about starting small with something and seeing it grow from the beginning and slowly so that it can produce, because coins is about slow and steady. Coins is the equivalent of pentacles. So if you're getting the Ace of Coins, it's about accepting from the onset of this relationship, whether it's business or romantic, that it needs to start off small and allow it to grow with time, but trust that it has roots or potential for roots. All right. And then lastly here, this energy that we were talking about earlier, you got the Son of Wands. And the Son of Wands is about energy, movement forward. So this is twofold. It's funny because I just really saw like the energy of the Son of Wands. The Son of Wands, by the way, is also the Knight of Wands. And it's about movement forward. It's about action, but it's about action with our own, it's like our own will and our own energy. It's a solo card as well. It's about taking ourselves to the next level, and usually it doesn't really include anyone. It's about moving ourselves away from a situation that no longer serves us and moving towards our best self-expression of ourselves, because that's what Wands represents. Wands represents our own internal. That's so funny. As I'm recording this, my Cancerian friend just texted me. She must be feeling the reading. Anyhow, so long story short here, whatever this is, dear Cancer, that's going to come back for review is either going to put you in a position where you are going to seal it forever. You're going to say nope to it. Sorry, you gave me a headache, dear client or ex-spouse or whatever. I'm taking my one wand by myself. I'm getting on my horse. I'm getting in my car, getting on my bike, getting on my private jet. And some of you may have that. And I'm taking my full raw energy, my authenticity, who I really truly am. And I'm moving forward and I'm making stuff happen. I'm telling you something right now, Cancer. I feel from your cards, from the energy that I've stepped into as I started your reading, there is this feeling of, I almost get this feeling that you're at a place that you are willing to go at it on your own. And that means everything. Like this can mean your business, your own life, who you are as an individual. There's a feeling of, okay, it's almost like you've paused. It's almost like you're picking up the pieces of you again. And that doesn't mean that you've been destroyed or that you have fallen apart or that something crazy has happened, but something has shifted. There's a feeling here that it's almost like a habit, or you've come into some knowing that that things cannot continue as they have been. That's the energy I'm feeling. And with that said, and this is the year, I feel like a lot of you are going to utilize the energy of this birthday solar return year to create whatever that missing piece is for you. There's some of you who are seeing things that maybe you didn't want to see, that are becoming clear. Remember, that moon is there, right? So it's about really paying attention to the things that are covered up or have been covered up, and to allow yourself to be honest with yourself, because, you know, the moon is very Neptunian, although it's interchangeable. Sometimes the moon can represent Pisces in readings. Sometimes it can represent Cancer. I'm feeling it more like Piscean energy. And Neptunian energy can sometimes make things murky. You know, Neptune rules Pisces. And so we need to be willing to be honest with ourselves about what's not working. I'm really getting a strong sense that that's what's going on for a lot of you. Okay, I'm going to end this reading with an oracle by Colette Baron Reed. And let's see, what is the most important message, dear Spirit, that you have for Cancer, for this birthday reading? What is the most important thing that they need to take with them? Please show me. Okay. Woo! You got unfinished. See that? Unfinished symphony. Oh yeah, and it's a 10, which adds up to a 1, which is about new beginnings, and 1 is about solo. It's about moving forward with something on your own with your own efforts. This doesn't mean that you can't get help from others, and it doesn't mean that you're going to be alone without a partner or what have you. It just means that there are some efforts, just like I was saying before, there's an effort here, or there's a willingness and acceptance to move forward with something about you, your life, who you are as a person. You're taking a willingness to do it on your own. That's what the 1 is. Now I'm going to read, I hit myself. Now I'm going to read the actual definition. Let's see. I just totally poked my eye with the corner of it. I got so excited. Okay, so 10. Unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, the need to make amends. Oh my goodness, Cancer. So maybe before I read the meaning of the oracle, maybe the reason these cards are that feeling that I'm getting, like you're fed up, you're ready to take your sword, stop effing around, like I said earlier, go at something on your own. Something has taken place. Obviously, I don't know, I'm not psychic, very, very intuitive, but I am not psychic. So you will have to decide for yourself what that is, but something has happened, and it can be, and I have the sense, Cancer, that it's something very subtle. It's almost like someone was saying, someone or something happened, and it was a subtle, small thing, and you saw the detail in that, and you saw something bigger, like the bigger meaning of it, and now you're in this place of, well, I'm going to have to just do this on my own, or what have you. It's going to play out a little differently for all of you. All right, so let me read the message. The oracle's message is, this is a time to tie up loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or project and mastery of a lesson or skill. So in career, it could be that whole thing, right? That something cannot be celebrated yet or has come to a halt. Before you can move forward. Okay, let me reread that. Sorry. This is a time to tie up loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or project and mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it's important that you come to terms with where you are now. Practice radical acceptance. We were talking about that. We're talking about your first house and how there's a need here for you to work on your self-worth and your full acceptance of yourself. Take inventory so that emotional and psychological closure can occur and the answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what has passed so that the symphony can finally end on a high note. Wow. Okay, here we go. You want to see it again? Okay. Alrighty, I'm going to end it right there, Cancer. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you don't mind that you can't see the cards and whatnot. I hope it was still brought you some value, something valuable for you to take with you. And happy birthday. Enjoy this. Eat lots of cake. Don't forget to make a wish. Okay, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Bye.